Well, I spoke to a senior figure in the scientific community this week who was still very confident that sporadic cases like this in the US and Europe are containable. Contrary to common perceptions, it's not actually the most easily transmissible disease as infections go. Even if you sat next to a contagious person on the subway, you'd still have to get contact with a secretion from that person to be at risk of catching Ebola. So, that's always a risk, but you would be quite unlucky. However, this scientist said he was confident about the ability to contain it in the US and Europe, but more worried about people travelling the other way, to the east. Remember, we've seen deepening trade and investment ties between Africa and Asia. So it's just as plausible to imagine Ebola turning up in the middle of Jakarta or New Delhi. And that could be more concerning given their less developed healthcare systems and population density. Well, they should help. I think it's commonly agreed that it wasn't an especially good idea for the US health worker from Texas who came down with Ebola to have subsequently been allowed to fly after treating an infected patient. That rattled public confidence in how well this was being handled by the authorities when she too became unwell. So simply out of an abundance of caution and to maintain public confidence, people who've been in contact with an Ebola victim should probably minimise travel and contact with other people for a while afterwards. I think there's a broad consensus among experts that border screening is not much use at all at the point of entry, given how difficult it is to work out who's arriving from where at somewhere like Heathrow Airport. But clearly there's more merit in screening at points of exit from West Africa. Nigeria has a more advanced healthcare system. It's got better organised public services. So when a case arose, they implemented a very quick and effective plan to contain the outbreak. I mean, that's not to say that there might not be more cases that arise, but it's given some confidence in the ability of Nigeria to handle it, because that's always been the big fear, that Ebola could take root in what is the region's biggest and most important country. As for Sierra Leone, the continued deteriorations are a reflection of the fact that you have the opposite situation to Nigeria. They haven't got the health system or the infrastructure to keep a lid on it. The health system was already fragile, now it's completely overwhelmed. We don't know yet. There's 3 vaccines in development. They've looked promising in animal trials, but they still need to be proven in humans. The most advanced is from GlaxoSmithKline. It's currently undergoing safety trials in humans, and the initial signs are good, that there's no serious side effects. But it won't be until it's given to people in Ebola-affected communities in West Africa. That should happen at the end of this year or early 2015. It's only then that we'll know for sure how it works and if so, how well. The other 2 are from Johnson & Johnson and a small Canadian company called Newlink. They're a few months behind. But even if they all work, there's all sorts of issues still to be resolved. How do you keep vaccines chilled in a region with such poor infrastructure? If a booster is needed, as is often the case with vaccines, how would you enforce that in such chaotic circumstances? So it won't be a silver bullet.